Hi, Daniel. Sorry, I just saw your message.
No, I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Good.
All right. A quick recap of what's gonna happen in this call. First, it's gonna be me, maybe for the first 7 minutes, 8 minutes maximum, and then the rest of the hour will be you and Tin. Okay, perfect.
Just
And
one thing. But I think like Daniel, when you open like the mic, it's gonna have like the echo. So yeah. But I think like that's fine. Yeah, like if you don't turn on the mic, then we can like take turn. So that's okay. Yeah.
okay, all right. I'm gonna share my screen. Give me 1 sec. All right. So now we can officially start. Okay. I might be freezing in between of this presentation, but deal with it. I believe my voice will continue anyway. So anyway, welcome and welcome back to OpenGuild 63rd community call. So for this year, this is gonna be our last community call. So thank you to everyone who's been watching and who's been rewatching our community call for this whole year. And for tonight, we have Daniel here. We're going to talk about the future of JAM in 2026, but later on, we will let them talk about it even further with Nin. But to start, I'm Pat. I'm from OpenGuild. And OpenGuild, this is our website, openguild.wtf. And OpenGuild is the builder-focused community that's featuring Polkadot ecosystem. So all our efforts are really focusing on having more builders to join the ecosystem and build on Polkadot, right? So that's all the efforts that we're all doing. So we are doing multiple meetups, workshops, and really physical events to reach the local communities or local builder communities in Southeast Asia or in Asia in general. So these photos are just part of the previous events that we had this year in Vietnam, in Manila, Philippines, in Cebu, in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia, and Singapore recently for Road to Sub-Zero, and Bangkok in Thailand. We've been doing from time to time, some meetups there. Of course, with the help of our local partners. Actually, since this is our last call for this year, we just want to thank everyone, like all our partners who made these initiatives possible for Open Guild. These are our partners. We're all working with our partners here. So let's say, in Vietnam, some universities in Hanoi, in Ho Chi Minh. Thank you so much to the developer community partners that we have there. Also in Philippines, and Ellie has been helping us in terms of the technical initiatives for Manila. In Cebu, we also was able to build a Polkadot club in one of the universities there. In Kuala Lumpur, we recently reached for Road to Sub-Zero. We have CCACC and also Access, and also all the blockchain clubs that we recently reached in Kuala Lumpur. So thank you everyone for supporting Polkadot, Open Guild, Singapore also, the NTU, blockchain at NTU. Thank you so much. And Off-Chain Global and Off-Chain Bangkok in Thailand. So we just want to say thanks. Thank you for everyone who's been helping us. But aside from these meetups, these physical events, again, our efforts are all about providing resources and making sure that we have more builders in the ecosystem. So we also have these slides. So per slide, we have the specific topic on how we think you will learn best about Polkadot. We also have video playlist bootcamp here. And we have the platforms in our website. So build at openguild.wtf. It's all about building. Learn that OpenGuild.wtf. This is like our very initial platform for everyone who's very interested in Polkadot ecosystem. And if you know someone who doesn't know much about the ecosystem, this is the first platform to share to them to learn about Polkadot. And recently, our DevRel team created this code camp at OpenGuild.wtf. So in the next month, OpenGuild will be in multiple universities around Southeast Asia or around Asia, partnering again with the universities, with the dev communities. So this is what we're gonna use to distribute our resources and of course to mainly promote the Polkadot Hackathon next year, Polkadot APAC Hackathon. So yeah, there's a lot of things that happen and are happening in the Polkadot ecosystem and in OpenGuild. Please follow us on X or join our Discord. Discord mostly for developer support or for asking us for more resources or where or what kind of resources do you want to learn. We have a lot of things in the Polkadot ecosystem, but also in OpenGuild, streamlining it. So please join us. And next, Polkadot ecosystem updates. I don't really have much, but I feel like these are big ones. First of all, Polkadot Asset Hub. So we are now on Coinbase, but only for USDC. Next, Polkadot as still one of the top blockchains by dev activity according to ChainSpec. And the most talked about this week, the polkadot.com new branding and new logo. So while I was doing this slide, it kind of gave me goosebumps. This is something like very mysterious, something that kind of like restarting, kind of like an unknown, but there's really nothing much to do but to wait and see what's going to happen next. Well, kind of like the related topic that we're going to talk about this night or today in this call. And I just want to share this because when I put this here, I saw also Parity X account shared this video playlist. I think this is some kind of hint of where we're going next year in terms of the ecosystem or Polkadot product or the whole Polkadot ecosystem itself. So maybe this is something that we can also learn or watch by on this weekend. So yeah, a lot of things have happened and still happening, and it's very very mysterious. So just want to say to everyone, good luck and stay in touch. But yeah, so for Open Guild, we're still doing things. Please feel free to join us or follow us for more updates. Yeah, keep in touch on X and keep in touch on Discord. That's it for me. Tin.
Thank you, Pat. Okay, hope like you can hear me clearly. Yeah. So first, yeah, thank you, Daniel, for like joining our community call, and that's really like our honor to have you here to like join us and share a bit about Jam. I remember like the last time like we talk about Jam is around like I think 6 or 7 months ago. And I remember like I met you in person in like the last Sub-Zero in Bangkok last year, and like when you also like share about like JAMIXIR and also like about the Jam implementations, if I remember, based on the rate paper, and those words like mind blowing. And now after 1 year, it's great. Like we have you here, and I don't want to take like much spotlight from like the core because I want like I have no clue, to be honest. I have no clue about like what is Jam is currently having, and I expect like there has been like a lot of upgrade and like impressive milestone that Jam already reached. So yeah, so hello Daniel, and do you want to like, introduce a bit about yourself? Yeah.
Sure. Thanks for the invitation, Pat and Teen. I'm really happy to be here. and hopefully we will meet many more times in the near future, because as you said, 1 year has passed, but and not so many news about Jam. So sometimes people, when nobody says anything, people tend to believe that nothing is happening, but a lot was happening in the last year. And in particular, so I am one of the Jam implementers. We are a community that I calculate more or less 100 people, more or less 30 to 40 teams implementing Jam today. Some are a little bit further in the path because it's a long path, and some are still in the beginning, but it's the path, it can be followed by as many people as people that want to work with Jam. I started the implementation around 1.5 years ago, a little bit before we met in Sub-Zero in November last year in Bangkok. So I started with another partner that actually lives in Thailand as well, Luke. He lives in Pai, not in Bangkok, but we've met in that occasion in Bangkok, and we work together. We've met first in PBA. I am a Polkadot Blockchain Academy alumni. I did the Hong Kong cohort. If I'm not wrong, it was the fifth of the or the fourth. I don't remember.
Yeah, the
I think
fourth.
it's yeah, the fourth. Yeah, so in Hong Kong. So it was in January 2024, which exactly almost 2 years ago. I'm gonna make 2 years anniversary of being in Polkadot full time, because actually before Polkadot, I was working to develop a developers community in Latin America. So something very, very similar to what you do here in OpenGuild. So I know exactly what are the challenges, the problems, and the pleasure to build a community and to bring more developers to Web3. In our case, we were not focused on Polkadot in the beginning, but after some times, and especially after we did the PBA, we decided to focus the our efforts on Polkadot specific content. So we created a YouTube channel. There's a lot of great tutorials and content about developing blockchain applications. So when I went to PBA, I decided to uh, put my hands on the lower level codes that could be. So I decided for a while to stop managing the community. There were other community um, managers that could help the community to keep going, and I decided to focus 100% of my time in Jam, more or less 1.5 years ago. And I joined. Actually, I started alone, and then I invited all the PBA friends to join me. And some of them started something, but soon couldn't make it. But one of them, Luke, luckily, uh, kept developing with me, and here we are 1.5 years ago, with this huge community, with the first milestone delivered, and working to have a full Jam node. And I can give you more details about not only my team but other teams, how the community evolved in the last year.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, a lot of information, and also would love to learn more as well. So right now, like, you're working full time on Jam, or like do you also have like other things that you're working on?
No, I'm working full time on Jam. I've been working full time on Jam since the beginning.
That's amazing.
Luckily, I have some I had some past great experiences developing software in general, not related with Polkadot, not related with blockchain. Actually, I was a Web2 or backend developer, and I was also managing different companies. I founded many companies. I was CTO in different startups in Brazil, and luckily I got some I could build my own treasury, so I could stay sometimes without recurring revenue, so I can invest. So I'm investing what I earned in the past to develop to be a full-time Jam developer.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And also, like, I'm quite like impressed that like when you say you also like build a community, a developer community, back in like Latin America, because like I remember like you were like one of the person who's very active, talking about Jam on X and also like on YouTube. And m- to learn more about like, you, like, what is the motivation that push you so dedicated into Jam? Because you also say that like you can, you know, um invest something in like in your like from your old treasury just to work on Jam. So like what's kind of motivation that puts you forward?
Yeah, I think the main motivation for me was to work on something that I believe was meaningful. After so many years developing software and doing different stuff, I I came to the conclusion that I need to waste my time. I need to spend my time on things that I believe, and not just like having a salary and working on something that I'm not contributing for something that is meaningful for me and for what I believe will be a good future for the society. And Jam at that moment was that the kind of project that I thought was really meaningful. But not only that, it must be something challenging. So Jam for me was really challenging because I never built a blockchain before, so I didn't even know how to do it. It was very, very hard for me. So it was a challenge, and something that even if it's challenging, it I came to the conclusion at that time that it was possible. So something challenging, possible, and that I would work, especially doing what I do best, which is coding, because I spend a lot of time, a lot of my life doing things that are not related with coding. And I also came to the conclusion that I wanted to spend more time coding and less time doing other stuff. So Jam was the perfect fit for me. Like, do what I like, which is coding, in a very challenging project, and something that, in the end, if we get it right, if we can make it, it's going to be meaningful for us and for everybody.
Mm. Yeah, that's a great point. I also agree with you. Sometimes like working something that bring us like the meaning is gonna be better than like just number. Um, okay, so a bit about like the progress. So compare with like the from like the starting light and to like I don't remember like the first milestone of Jam. Is this like a Jam testnet?
Yeah, so let me give an explanation of how. So there is this the Web3 Foundation created the Gem Prize. So they are offering for Gem developers or Gem implementers the possibility to get a prize if they can deliver a full Gem node. And this prize is divided into 5 phases, 5 milestones. The first milestone, which is starting to get, so it's starting to be accepted right now. And this was something that happened recently. So the teams finished their milestone one, and I'm going to explain exactly what it is. And they are delivering the milestone right now. This is very good because all these teams, as far as I know, as I saw, there are about 10 teams that are ready, are milestone one ready, which means 10 teams are, if they get correct answer, if they pass the evaluation, they will get the 1/5 of the price, which is 100,000 dots. And this is really good because this prize will make possible these teams to keep working for another year, for another 2 years, because there's still a lot of work to do. So the first milestones, what does it mean? It means that you still don't have a full node running. So it's not a test net, but it's you build the capability for the main capability of a blockchain node, which is to make the state transition function right. Okay, so every blockchain node, whatever blockchain you might think of, Polkadot, Ethereum, Solana, Algorand, all of them have the same feature, which is transition states. So each block is new information. You have a state that is a shared information that everybody agrees. So all the nodes agreed with some state. And then you have a block, which is basically changes that you want to make to this state. And then you have the next state, which everybody will agree. So basically, you have some state, and if you look at the gray paper, the first formulas exactly show that. So you have a function. It's a very complicated functions with a lot of different things that you need to do, but in the end, it's just like you have external information, you have the information that you already have inside your system, and then you bring this information, this new information in, you transform this new information and you put it on your state and agree. Different nodes or different systems connected via network, they agree with this new truth. So this is the heart of any blockchain. So the milestone one delivery is exactly this. So if you make the state transition function right, you get the price. And this is what we've done to by the end of this year. And next, we will have the second milestone, which will happen probably in the next months. Some teams are already working on milestone one, including myself and my team. We are working together. Some people are still on milestone one. Some people just finished milestone one and will start milestone two. But some teams already started milestone two, even if they didn't had the milestone one delivery, because the delivery process for the price took a little bit longer than we expected. So that's why we are delivering it right now. But we had it implemented for, let's say, 3 or 4 months ago. But the tests that the Web3 Foundation was putting to make sure we have the correct answer were still being developed. So it was a very, very interesting process, because you need us to evaluate the team's nodes. You need a software. This software needs to test my implementation, other teams' implementation. So every team will deliver their binary, that basically the input is a block and a state, and the output is the new state. And you must be right. In every single bit of this response must be completely right. So the testing software needs to, someone needs to write the testing software. But to write the testing software, you need to write the software. So the Web3 Foundation wrote the testing software, but they need to test the testing software. And the way they tested this testing software was like releasing the testing software, and all the Jam teams tried to pass the tests. And if they didn't pass the test, mean that there's a bug on the team implementation or there's a bug on the testing software. So the process of creating the testing software was also a consensus process, where all the teams were sending, oh, this test, I passed this test. No, I didn't pass this one. I think your testing software is wrong on this part. I think I have a bug on this part. And this was like the process that we passed through in the last 3 to 4 months, trying to improve our implementations and correct some bugs, and also to improve the testing software so it is right on every single implementation. And now that we have more or less 10 teams with the milestone delivered and the testing software, all these 10 teams agree with this testing software that is there, we are ready to move on to milestone 2. I hope I could explain it, even if it's a little bit technical. This is the overview of what we've been doing and why we were so silently, because it was like very lower level, bit by bit, trying to match the responses, and very complicated sometimes, trying to execute the blocks, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you execute a block. And yeah, we were debugging our software, deep dive into the machine code.
I see. Yeah. It sound like it gives me a vibe of like PBA. You know, like when you was in PBA, you also like in every SSI you're gonna receive like a test suite where like, you're gonna run it over like your solutions, and then you see like gonna it passes or not. Yes, it does like give me that vibe, and great.
Yeah,
And
it is that vibe, but put it 100 times more complicated.
yeah, definitely, because we are building like real things like futures, innovation things, not
Yes,
like just like an
exactly,
exercise. So
exactly.
like, how many teams currently? Like, what is it like the progress of all the teams currently on? Like, are they in mainly on like close to finish the milestone one, like validating the notepad, or like yeah,
So you can see it. It is publicly available. The delivery. Let me just get it here. It is publicly available here. So there are, as long as I know, yeah, 12 teams actually. It was 10 yesterday, but now I just saw there are. Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link, because you have to do a PR on this repo of the Web3 Foundation, and we have exactly uh, 13 pull requests, but one of the pull requests is not related with. It's not related with milestone delivery. It's something else. So yeah, 12 teams.
I see. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and if you and I can tell you that these teams are distributed in different programming languages.
Yeah,
If you if you take a look at this report over here, um, let me share another link with you. Yeah, this one. You see that you have implementations in Go, in Elixir, in Python, in Java, in Rust, in TypeScript, in Swift, and yeah, and also there are actually Rust. There are 3 implementations in Rust and 3 implementations in Go, 2 in Python, and then Elixir, and other. There are other Zig and C++. So yeah, there are different implementations in different programming languages, which is really amazing.
yeah, that's really amazing. Yeah, that's right. Like how like we coordinate like all the people around the world like to be on Jam, and then yeah, that's really amazing.
Yeah, the coordination layer, the main coordination layer is the protocol, the gray paper. So the gray
Yeah,
paper, as specified, and this is something that also uh, had some because the gray paper wasn't completely finalized, and actually it is still on version 0.7.2. So the gray paper is still evolving, which means that part of the specification is being written on the fly. It's not a theoretical paper. It's not a theoretical protocol. It's being implemented. So the Gavin Wood is specified, and his team is specifying and implementing the protocol as they go. So they implement a part, and then they specify, and then they specify and implement. So they are doing this job, and that's why it's still on version 0.7.2, because there are still some parts that are not specified, are still being implemented, and will be specified until version 1.0. So 0.7.2 is very mature, is already mature to the point that we can have a stable state transition function that we can evaluate. But still there are some missing pieces, especially the milestone 2 pieces like networking and block finalization, some other specific parts of the full protocol that will be finished by probably in the next months. The gas model is something that will be on version 0.8, which is a very innovative thing for Jam, something that no other blockchain has. Uh, that amount of um predictable execution and predictable gas accounting. So it's really really nice to have something like this, and so powerful and so performant as the PVM is. So all the teams had to implement the Polkadot virtual machine as well. Not only Jam, but the heart of Jam, which is the machine that runs the software. So the virtual machine that runs the software, which is a RISC-V low level, defined in the gray paper in a very low level way. So assembling operations like additions, subtractions, multiplications, and all the machine code of this virtual machine. So all the teams had to implement them. And then Gem is a so you have the Gem, which is the consensus protocol, all the specifications of blocks and things like that, and the heart of it is executing software into this Polkadot virtual machine.
I see. I see. You say like every team like have to implement their own PVM.
Every team in the beginning they have this rule. In the beginning, it wasn't so clear if teams had to implement or not their PVM, and it became clear that teams need to implement the PVM, but not all the teams need to implement the PVM in a performatic way. So there are they after sometimes they decided to change the path of the gem price. Instead of building the full stack of the gem node, including the PVM. I think everybody agrees that there's no need to have 15 implementations in different programming languages of the PVM. Not for educational purpose. Surely there is this need, but not for running the actual nodes. So
I
for
see.
running nodes, probably there's gonna be 2 or 3 high performant PVM implementations, and actually this is what we have right now. So some teams can from milestone 2 on, instead of using their own PVM implementation, so it is needed, but they don't need to keep it to reach the milestone 3, which is the milestone for performance.
Hmm.
So when you need to have a node that is enough performant, you can use others PVMs instead of using yours, in a way that you can there are some rules about the price, how the price is paid for these specific teams. But yes, you have to implement, but you don't need to make it. And why you need to implement? Because you need to understand what's happening inside, even if you don't do it in a very efficient, because it's very low level machine code, bit by bit optimizations. It's really really hard to make it really really fast. So
Hmm.
this is the reason why and once we have a super fast implementation, or maybe 2 super fast implementations that can compete with each other to be the most performatic, you don't need like obviously you won't be able to do it in higher level languages like Elixir, for example. We implemented our PVM in Elixir, and we saw that it was really really slow, and we couldn't make it faster. Then we optimized it maximally uh, with the limits of the language, because the language is interpreted, and then it's there's no types for this language. So there are many characteristics of the Erlang virtual machine, because it is the language already runs in a virtual machine. So you have to run a virtual machine inside of virtual machines. This makes things slower instead of running actually directly on the hardware as other languages like C or Rust or Go
Mm,
can do it. So what we did is we decided to re-implement the virtual machine in Rust. So we
mm.
have one implementation in Elixir, and we have a faster implementation in Rust. And we are going to use this faster implementation in Rust to run our Elixir. It's integrated, is very, very smartly integrated, thanks to Luke's amazing work. He did amazing work of integrating Rust
Mm.
code with Elixir code. There are clever ways to do this, but he did it in a very smart way. And now we have a node that the 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 things that need to be fast are written in Rust, and the things that needs to be compliant and easy to maintain and easy to scale are in Elixir. So we have both of the both sides of language. So Rust is very good at making something very performatic, but it's more complicated codes to read, more complicated to maintain. On the other hand, Elixir is super easy to develop, super easy to maintain. It's very easy to test and to avoid bugs. So we have the best of these two worlds in our implementation.
I see. Is like is like JAMIXIR is like one of like the very first like Elixir blockchain project right now in the market.
Um, well, I am not aware of any other blockchain written in Elixir up until now. So I would say that yes. So JAMIXIR will be the first and the best, surely the best, because Jam is the best. So but it will definitely be the best blockchain technology written in Elixir by far, and it uses a lot of concepts of the Elixir language and the beam, the Erlang virtual machine, especially the concurrency part. Because imagine you have a node, and this node will be connected to other 1,000 nodes, because the full Gem network has 1,023 nodes. You need to send messages and receive messages whole time with all these nodes, sending packages, receiving packages, sending blocks, receiving blocks, sending all different information that Gem specifies. And you must do it very fast and without bugs and all these concurrent connections. So imagine 1,000 network connections, 1,000 databases being open and store data, read data, write data. All this stuff using Elixir is amazing because you can manage all these things
Mm.
beautifully with the libraries that Elixir offer.
That's right. That's right. So like compare with like system programming language, for example, like Rust or like C++, where like most of the blockchain is written in. Like what's like the benefit of like writing in Elixir compared to those? Aside from like performance, I can say.
Yeah, I would say that the for uh, at least for me, Elixir is you write much less code. Uh, I would
Mm.
say 1/5 to 1/10 of the amount of code that you write. You write very fewer lines of code to do the same
Mm.
thing. This is one thing, and also it's very easy to test because you write less lines of code. You have less lines of code to test.
Mm.
And also it's very easy to integrate with other networking that you need. So if you have another software also in Elixir or in Erlang, it's very easy to send messages and to exchange information um, with these nodes. So I think Elixir, another advantage, in my opinion, of Elixir is that it is a functional language. And because it is a functional language, especially for implementing formally specified protocols, it's super straightforward. You have a formula in the gray paper, you take that formula, and when you write code, your code is almost that formula. You don't need to write much more than what is written in the formula, except in
Mm.
cases where you have like optimizations and things that needs to be, because the math formula doesn't care about performance. So
Mm.
sometimes some math formulas are precise, they are correct, but they are slow. Sometimes you need to make something that still delivers the same functionality of the formula, but in a way that is more performatic. So you implement in a different way. But sometimes you don't need that. Sometimes it's just the formula is the code, and you don't need to do anything else. So uh, I already had some slides presenting specifically this characteristic of Elixir and how the formulas match exactly one by one with Elixir code. And it's really amazing because it's really easy for us to find in the gray paper. When we look at our code, you can find the in the gray paper the specification, and you have the specification in the gray paper. You search for our code, you just put formula number, whatever number it is, you find in the code exactly that the implementation of that specific formula in the gray paper. So you can find things in your code using the gray paper, or you can find things in the gray paper using your code.
That's right. That's right. And right now, like the code base is not like open source yet, right?
Yes, the code base will remain closed until the end of the gem price,
I
which
see.
I think it's gonna last a little bit more, probably another year, I suppose,
Mm.
when we have the complete node running and all the prices. When we deliver the milestone 5, we are, I would say, we would be free to open source our code.
I see. I see. And I
Yeah.
remember like there's was a demo about Doom running on Jam. Like from that, yeah, from that and until now, like, are there any like more application that you can run on Jam aside from Doom? Like, yeah, are there any like
Yeah.
more
So this is
capacity that Jam can do?
Yeah, so this is something that I started to research recently. I confess that because we were so busy building the node, we didn't have too much time to play with the node that we are developing, or to play with the other implementers nodes, because
Hmm.
even if we don't have access to source codes, we have access to the nodes binaries. All the teams have released their binaries because they
Hmm.
need to release the binaries for the price, to run the testing software.
Hmm.
So we have access to parties and other teams' binaries, and some of them are a little bit more mature than our node, so we can
Hmm.
run. So the Doom demo that I created the tutorial a few days ago was using the Polka Jam, the party implementation of Jam.
Hmm.
And so I didn't have too much time to play with building services on Jam, and that's why we don't have so many examples. Including, I speak for myself, but I think I speak for most of the Jam community, because
Hmm.
everybody was super busy building their nodes, and they were not so there wasn't so much time to okay, now I have this node, I need to run some service, let's build some service. I think this will get more frequent and more broad within the gem community in the next year. So 2026 will be the year that teams finish their implementation. I'll say in the first quarter, probably milestone 2 deliveries will start to be finished and delivered. And once you have milestone 2, you have everything you need to run any service. So you
Hmm.
can start experimenting with your own software, creating services. But there are some experiments and some demos here and there, and hopefully I will start to do some more in the next quarter. We also have the demo for the running Quake on Gem. There is this demo for running Quake, running simple tokens creation, like token and token balances and transfers
Hmm.
and very simple stuff like this. But I think the main point is that the Doom, running Doom, is not about the game itself. It's
Hmm.
about proving that you can take any software, any like C code, do a little bit of very few adaptations.
Hmm.
You adapt this existing software. You probably have to write system calls or things like that. So adapt because usually Doom was made to run on a Linux machine or on a Windows machine. So it makes some system calls like read from disk or create this output this video to the screen, things like that that are physical hardware. But Gem doesn't have a screen, so there is a virtual screen that the Doom demo is uses this virtual screen. So basically, it writes the data that should go to screen to the data availability layer, and then there's another process that keeps reading this data
I
from
see.
this data availability layer and shows to the end user. But
I see.
so these small adaptations that you do on the original Doom code, and you can have. So this proves that you can take any software and run on Gem. And this is the beauty of Gem. You can run arbitrary software doing small changes in the original software. No, actually, it's not. You don't change the original software. You just create a
Mm.
driver or a translation for that specific feature that you need. And the Parity team is doing what they call core VM. Core VM
Mm.
would be these software development kits or software tools that you need to just import in your existing software. And once you import this, you have access to everything in Gem. You don't need to think about services. You don't need to think about data availability. You don't need to think about anything. You just like run the software. You deploy the software as a as a service in Gem, and it runs. So you
I
have
see.
this say adapter, something that adapts your existing software with the Gem machine, because Gem in the end is a machine, is a abstract machine, abstract computer, so you can run on it.
I see. I see. Okay. Yeah, that's really amazing. Another question would be mainly about like the Polkadot ecosystem in general. So like I don't know if you follow, but like recently we have a lot of things like changes in like the Polkadot ecosystem, and like how there is a reflect back to like the Gem development process, because we have like a lot of also another innovation as well, like Polkadot hubs or like a lot of transitions in the OpenGuild, and like there is impact like any things that happen in with Gem. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that I would divide the answer in two parts. So the first part is we are completely not affected by anything that is happening with Polkadot, which
Yeah.
which I think is good, because we can keep going and keep doing whatever we are doing to make Gem a reality. So this is part of our lives. Doesn't matter what's happening in Polkadot. But I think from now on, it matters a lot. So in the beginning, when you are still implementing the nodes or still testing or still learning about Gem, it's good that you are isolated and in your lab, like doing the research and implementing and testing and making it happen. But okay, Gem now is almost released. We have like a few more months to have the testnet running. Probably the PolkaGem implementation will have a testnet much before. So when you talk about testnet, you have to remember that there are many implementations. The final production testnet probably will have nodes with different implementations running together, and this is the beauty of Gem. It's going to be the most reliant uh, blockchain network ever, because there's not all the blockchains except from Ethereum that has maybe 2 or 3 implementations. All others have only one implementation. You don't have 2 implementations of Solana. You don't have 2 implementations of, let's say, Near. So there's one team, very centralized, very dependent on a single entity to upgrades, to change, etc. Jam is different. You're gonna have 5, 6, 10 nodes running in parallel. So if there's a bug on one of them, no problem, because the others won't have the bug, because everybody's developing without looking at others' code. You're just following the protocol specification. So this is really nice. But of course, teams are still working, and we have some teams that already finished their not finished, but are more mature in their implementations, including the Polka Jam, which is the parities implementation in Rust. They already have a mature implementation in a way that they could run a test net only with their own software, a full test, a full network. So the next step is taking this software and running it with 1,000 nodes. So they're going to use the Gem Toaster, which is a data center that was built with this purpose, to have something real world simulations of Gem running in full speed with all the 1,023 nodes. So teams that are delivering milestone 1 will have access to the toaster to make their tests for milestone 2 and 3 and so on. So little by little, teams will get access to the Gem toaster, and they will start to develop their nodes to make them more efficient and start testing real production nodes. And the test net will be launched when we have, let's say, at least 3 or 5 of these teams with the node past the milestone 3, which is the milestone with minimum requirements for Kusama level performance.
I see. I see. Yeah, that's how amazing and promising. Okay. All right. I think that we also like come close to the end of the community call, and I think that we already consume a lot of like insightful informations about Jam, and the upcoming years of Jam, and would be great like if we can see like the testnet of Jam to be ready around like the first quarter of 2026, and also let's see like teams finish their implementations in the upcoming years. And yeah, and again, like thank you for like coming to the community call today, and we learn a lot about like Jam and like what's it like all the teams currently doing. And yeah, like again, like thank you, Daniel, for coming to the community call. Yeah.
Yeah, and also if anyone has questions about Jam, you can reach me on Twitter. I'm more than happy to help to share content about Jam. I've been doing this for a while, and I will keep doing it because I love to share whatever I learned uh, along the way, and especially when we have something more mature about the same way I share the Doom demo tutorial. I'm gonna share some more tutorials in the next quarter, probably much more when we finish our own implementation. Probably we will go to the other layer of the Jam development, which is developing services. This is something that me and my team we are eager to do. So okay, now we know how to run Jam. We are running Jam. We have our node in the test net, maybe in the main net. Now let's write some software. Let's write some services on Jam, and this is what we are going to do. And as we start doing it, we will have maybe in 1 year from now. So we talked 1 year ago. Probably 1 year from now, we will talk much more, and probably 100% of our conversation will be on how to build services on Jam, and there will be many more tutorials, many more development kits for developers. And what is even wonderful is that the developing tooling will not only be available for Rust developer or for C developers or for Solidity developers. You're gonna have different programming languages being able to run code on Jam, because Jam is a computer, is a decentralized computer. You can run any software on it. So this is the beauty of Jam. You can take something that is written that runs on Linux, and you can adapt it and you can run on Jam, and people will be able to write software or smart contracts or whatever they want in their preferred programming language, JavaScript, whatever, and run on Jam. And this will be the most diverse blockchain for developers.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And that's all I would love like to learn and like build some like different materials for like Jam services soon in the upcoming futures. Yeah. And thank you.
Yeah, we have some, but I confess that they are still early days, very low level stuff. Is still not so many documentations because the protocol is still changing. I think teams are being careful to create so many educational content because it's going to change so much that it doesn't worth to create so much content right now. Let's make it more stable, more final or close to final, to start delivering more educational content and help developers to start building on top of Gem. But this will happen soon. I'm really eager for that. And actually, I think this is needed because the if we have Gem running but no software running on it, it's not worth. So the whole purpose of Gem is to be this operational system of decentralized computer. The same way that Linux is just an operational system. You need software running on top of Linux, like Apache or whatever software you are running on desktop or on mobile, Android, and things like that. So the applications will come, and this is what we are going to start working in the, let's say, from 2026 second quarter on. It will be, you see much more content and maturity of Gem SDKs for developers that don't want to go deep dive into the protocol and understand the bits and bytes of the virtual machine. They just want to write software, write business logics, and run on Gem. They will be able to do it soon.
Cool. Yeah, that's amazing. And I think that's also like a wrap up for today's community call. And we hope like we gonna also like see you in maybe like in the upcoming community call as well. Yeah, definitely we're gonna meet more in like 2026. Yeah, and thank you for joining us
Yeah,
today.
I'm very available for talking with you and the community, and anyone can reach me in Twitter. Yeah, let's keep in
And
touch.
yeah, let's keep in touch. Yeah, thank you, Daniel, and see ya.
See you. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye bye.